Hey there, Ernie here. Thanks for tuning in, and if you are checking this video out, then I hope you are well aware that this will be the spoiler film review for Blair Witch. Blair Witch being the new sequel in the Blair Witch Project franchise. So again, this is the spoiler review. You can click on that link right up over there for the non-spoiler review, which I posted a couple weeks ago, and go in cold. But if you are still here and wish to continue, please be aware there will be spoilers for the new Blair Witch, and I will in turn be spoiling events from the original Blair Witch Project and Book of Shadows Blair Witch 2. So you've been warned, so we'll give you a little more time to get out of here, find your way to Coffin Rock, and pay respects to Rustin Parr, and maybe make some fun, cool stick figures while you're at it. Spoiler time! Alright, Blair Witch 2016. For the longest time, I knew there was a Blair Witch sequel in development, but at the time I thought that they said the Blair Witch sequel was actually going to be a prequel. Now, the Blair Witch Project came out in 1999. In that film, we were told that three student filmmakers went into the woods beyond Burkittsville, Maryland, and disappeared. And years later, the footage that they recorded was found. And the film that you are watching at this given time is a edited compilation of that said footage. And within that footage, we discovered that these three filmmakers have found themselves lost in the woods. And as they're filming, we learn a little bit more about this Blair Witch. Is she fact or fiction, local folklore, or something to be feared because she is in fact a real thing? And that is what runs through not only the characters' minds and the viewers' minds. The reason why I say character in question is because it turns out, for at the time, we thought this was real, because at the time marketing was using the internet, and there wasn't a lot to do on the internet to actually research stories to find out the validity of a certain fact. So there was a period where people thought this was a legitimate, straightforward documentary, and that scared the shit out of people. So these three people get lost in the woods as they're trying to find their way out. Things start happening, and events lead them to this house in the woods where something unfortunate and evil befalls the two remaining people, Josh and Heather. And the film ends with that. We never see what the hell happened, what attacked these people, and was there a Blair Witch? And then a few years later, we got Book of Shadows Blair Witch 2, which got meta, where it basically tells us that the Blair Witch movie was just that, just a movie. But people became obsessed with that movie, and were actually coming down upon Burkittsville, Maryland, and then the forest beyond to basically find where they filmed all this stuff. But the way Blair Witch 2 went was because it was being meta and recognizing that the movie was fake and it was just that. The film explores obsession, and how obsession can be taken too far, and how that can actually warp our perception of what we see and hear and do. And that's basically for the gist of what Blair Witch 2 was. I mean, it wasn't as good as the original, and I liked it in a way, and I liked the approach that they took. But after that, like I said, I thought the third one was going to be a prequel about the Blair Witch. But then, because 2 says the movie was just a movie, why make a Blair Witch prequel? Because we know it's fake. It's lost its luster. So, there hasn't been a Blair Witch movie in, I guess, 14 or 15 years. And this little movie being directed by Adam Wingard was coming out, called The Woods. It was already shot, and it was already screened at a film festival, and it was going to be screened at Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con 2016, and it was being advertised as The Woods. Now, people coming out were saying that this thing was pretty damn scary. And then at Comic-Con, it was revealed, no, this is actually Blair Witch. This is the first Blair Witch sequel in quite some time. And interestingly enough, the marketing changed. I don't know if they're still on YouTube or not, but you could probably find the video, the original trailer for The Woods, and then compare that to the trailer to Blair Witch, and see how they changed the marketing now that they can say it's Blair Witch. So Blair Witch 2016, directed by Adam Wingard and written by Simon Barrett, is essentially a sequel and reboot in many ways. Like I said, you don't have to see the first two movies in order to get into this, because structurally, thematically, it's relatively the same as the original. Hence, why I would say it was a reboot. But and in terms of sequel wise, it ties into the original film. Now, one of the characters in the film is the brother of Heather, and he and his friends decide to go find out, find who discovered the lost footage, and two, go into the forest and see if they can find his sister. That is what draws them to Burkittsville. That is what draws them into the woods. Now we don't. The film doesn't spend a lot of time on rehashing old history. It mentions Coffin Rock and mentions Rustin Parr and what exactly the Blair Witch does. It does expound upon why she has people standing in the corner, or why people are standing in the corner, and it adds little nuggets. But as the film progresses, when they get to the woods, what brings them to it, he looks at the found footage of. I'm not 100%, without having seen the original in quite some time, I'm not 100% sure if the footage that they found and watched was the actual footage that we saw at the end of Blair Witch, the original movie. And there might have been some embellishments in there, but it was really not that big of an issue. There's a moment where he sees someone in a reflection, and he says that that could be his sister. So that was what draws him there to go find her. And when they go, as I mentioned, they want to find the people who found the footage, and they do, and they talk to them, and then they ask those people asked to come along on their expedition. Now, as this is probably about the first third of the movie, and in the middle third, you start to get a sense that maybe these people who are guiding them into the woods may not be what they seem. And one of the things that really came about, that popped into my head in this moment, was that, of course, this is my interpretation, is that this is an allusion to the events of Book of Shadows, because basically Book of Shadows said this was a look at the obsession and how it basically you can warp your perception and your actions. And it turns out that these two people, while they may have been the ones who found the footage, they might be a little obsessed with the lore themselves. And they may be trying to take these guys into the woods just to, and there is a moment where it's quite clear that these guys are just here to just get into the folklore, become part of the folklore, as they try to use the stick figures to scare the shit out of the campers and the four friends, and that basically lies the okay, what can we trust? Are we actually seeing? Are these our human invention, or are we actually seeing the events of the Blair Witch actually in action? So, with those seeds planted, as the film progresses into night, is when the mounting suspense begins, and things start going crazy. The two parties split, where it's just the four friends, and then those two tag-alongs break off, but they venture off on their own. And as the four friends are trying to get their way back, one of them gets injured, and they're basically find themselves wandering around the woods and end up going in circles. And they stumble. The two people that they broke off with actually come back to them, and there's some strange things going on. It's like, how long have we been separated? We've been separated for hours. It's like, no, we've been separated for days. So we discover that there's something going on in Burkittsville Woods that is messing with time. Alternate dimension? I don't know. So it's Wingard and Barrett are introducing interesting new elements into the lore, the folklore of the woods around Burkittsville and the Blair Witch. It's like none of this we knew existed in the original, because we didn't have any idea. But it's really laying down some interesting concepts in this place. It's like, is something messing with time? Is the Blair Witch at work here? Is there something else? The natural? What exactly is happening here? So, but just beyond that, then things go nuts, and where something happens to something inexplicable but unexpected happens to one of the people, and you're wondering, it's like, how the hell did that happen? What did I miss? Did I just blink and totally miss something? It's like, what did that? Was that real? And you're like, no, this is real. So who or what did that? We don't know. We did not see it. And that is one of the other cool things, is that Wingard is very measured about what he reveals. We never really see anything. We hear all about this Blair Witch, but we never physically see the witch. And then everybody breaks off and they're running away, trying to get away from things, and then some unsavory things happen to a few people. And we eventually find ourselves back at the house. It looks like they rebuilt the house or actually shot at the actual house. I'm not sure. And as we're in the house, this is where where really Wingard really plays with you, and you start wondering, did I see what I think I saw? Was that a witch? Was that something else? But then we discovered that one of what we thought was the witch turns out to be one of the guy from the couple that they broke off with, who seems to be going nuts and obsessed, a la Book of Shadows, and getting too entrenched in this folklore, and claiming that he's doing what the Blair Witch wants him to do. He's doing what she says. So, is he nuts? Is he losing it? And what are we seeing? And those are the questions that are raised in the final third of the film, and it creates some interesting questions. Like it's like, are we in an alternate dimension? Why is it always dark? Raises a lot of questions. And did we see the Blair? Do we see the Blair Witch? I don't know. I saw something. You do see something. You do see a physical manifestation of something. But was that the other guy, or was it the witch? You don't know. And then there's a tense moment that you see in the trailer where one of the characters is trying to make her way through a sewer tunnel of some sort, a tunnel, and thinking, okay, she got out. But then out of nowhere, you see that guy comes back. And then a hand reaches through the tunnel and grabs her. I'm like, whose hand? Was that the witch? Again, you don't know. But even beyond that, it raises more interesting questions as events start to unfold, as you hear about what happens to the people after they stand in the corner. Things go down that you're not sure about, and some things escalate to epic proportions, and you're like, you really don't know what's going on. But I can see how it can be considered terrifying, and because you're just totally disoriented as to what you're seeing. But in Blair Witch fashion, it ends in the same way that the original did. Not exactly the same way, but it ends in the same fashion. So, in the end, like I said, I gave Blair Witch 4 stars out of 5. I really enjoyed the sequel. I thought it was a really great reboot / sequel. I really liked how they expanded the Burkittsville universe and expanded the lore and the folklore of the Blair Witch, and really not answering any questions and leaving it wide open for another sequel if need be, and hopefully there will be. So, yeah, so I know I said this is a spoiler review. I think I left a few things out, but sometimes it's even better, even in a spoiler review, to leave a few things out, so it's fresh for you. So if you like this spoiler review, hit that like button below. Have you seen The Blair Witch? Were you a fan of the Blair Witch series? Which is your favorite film in the series? What are you most looking forward to in this Blair Witch sequel? Please comment below and let me know. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do, so you can stay on top of my new reviews, retro reviews, spoiler reviews, trailer reactions, and any other fun things I happen to put on my channel. So until next time, stay out of the woods.